You can make a difference. You can give hope to a child. You can change a life. And that is no small change.
Welcome to another episode of One on One. My name is David Stahl, and today we're joined by Amy Polston, who's a first grade teacher in Michigan. Amy, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
And I'd like to just get started with some questions because, boy, teachers have a great vantage point in watching the Kids Hope program. So maybe first of all, how many kids have you had that are part of Kids Hope USA?
I have had about 10 children go
Wow.
through the Kids Hope program.
10 children, that makes her royalty, obviously, with all of us. And, Amy, as you've recommended those 10 children to have a mentor, in your mind, what do you hope happens for each of those students as you recommend them?
My hope is that the mentor will be their biggest cheerleader, their biggest fan, that they will first, capture their hearts and make that positive relationship with that child.
So, Amy, tell us, what information as a teacher do you like to receive from mentors about the time that the mentor and student spent together?
I just love to get that report that talks about what you and the child talked about, because sometimes the children, they will share things with their mentor that maybe they're not sharing with their teachers or with their parents. And so I really do like to take the time to reflect on those and find out, the inside scoop, kind of what, your time spent together was all about.
Okay, so here's the big question. As a teacher, Amy, honestly now, you really do read those daily progress reports?
I do, yes. And I know some teachers, we even create file folders for them and we keep them.
Wow, so that puts a little more pressure on each of us to go ahead and fill those out, doesn't it? So Amy, for a moment, focus on one of the 10 of those students who you've recommended for a mentor and tell us, what are the changes that you saw in that student?
The biggest change is that one student that I have this year, Friday is his day to meet with his Kids Hope mentor, and he just gets so excited. He'll ask me, every day, is today Friday? Is today Friday? And then when it finally is Friday, he'll say, today's my special day with my mentor. And so I've just seen that excitement because I know that that relationship is there. They've developed that special rapport. And that student is so excited when he's learning something new. He can't wait to share it with his mentor, whether it be a new math strategy or a book that he's learned to read. So just his excitement to share his love of learning with his mentor.
And what do you see in terms of any changes in this student's behavior or attitude, something that's going to last with them for a while? I mean, what kind of changes along those lines have you seen?
Yes. One student that I have this year has a behavior plan, and so every day I check in with him after each hour about his behavior, and then the report goes home to his mom and dad, and his mentor is so great that he checks in with him about his behavior report too.
Okay.
And so this student really wants to make sure that he is not disappointing his mentor and getting a great report because he knows that he's going to be checking in with that student.
So then look into his future, if you can, for a while, and take a shot at predicting for us years from now, how will he be different because of his experience these days with a mentor?
I think this student in particular that I'm thinking of is always going to have a special place in his heart for his mentor because he knew back when he was in first grade that he had a positive adult role model in his life that took the time to really get to know him and find out what his interests and passions were. And he took the time just to spend an hour with him every week. So I think he's always going to be impacted by that person and know that they made a positive difference in his life. And maybe hopefully someday he'll want to return the favor and do the same thing for a child.
Yeah, and I think that's important because as all of us know, we can look back in our lives and name somebody or a few people specifically who have had a tremendous impact on us. And so you're saying that this mentor is set up to be one of those people in his life.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, and then now let's broaden it a little bit. As a teacher, maybe what are some of the changes or differences that you see in students that maybe a mentor wouldn't be able to see? Because let's face it, you're with the students all day, every day, and we're all with our students for 1 hour. So what do you see that maybe mentors don't see?
I think the first thing is just their excitement You know, every child that I've had that has gone through the Kids Hope Mentor program, they just have this special glow about them on their day to meet with their mentor. And they come to school with that Kids Hope, t-shirt on, and they just have a strut. They know that this is their day, their time to kind of shine with their special person. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just their excitement, and they really do look forward to that special hour that they get every week.
So as the mentor is nervously wondering, what are we going to do this hour and all that, on the other side of it, there's a child who's just excited to get together.
And it doesn't matter what you have planned. It really doesn't. They just want to spend time with you.
A question that a lot of mentors have is in relationship to teachers providing academic work for mentors and students to tackle during the hour. Now, there are some times when a teacher doesn't provide work, or when a student doesn't have any homework to do. When that happens, Amy, what would you suggest that a mentor do with a student from an academic perspective?
I would say to let the child pick out a book that they would love for the mentor to read to them. I think spending time together, just having that mentor read to them, would just mean the world to that child. And a lot of parents think now, when kids are able to read on their own, that they don't need to read anymore to them, when actually that's the opposite.
Most mentors would probably assume if we pick out a book that have the child read it, but I love your perspective as far as you as a mentor read that book to a child or to a student, and the student will benefit from that. I don't think a lot of people would think that.
Yes.
Okay, Amy, so on behalf of teachers across the country, many of whom we know are way too busy to interact with the mentors, what would you like to say to all those folks who show up for an hour a week for a student? What would you like to say to them?
From the bottom of our hearts, just thank you so much for all your time, love, patience. You make a difference. And the Kids Hope Mentor Program at our school has been going on for 5 years, and the mentors that I have seen that have been with the children for 5 years consecutively, it has made a huge difference to have that mentor with that child for 5 years, and just the connection and the rapport that they have, it really truly does make a difference, and it matters. And so we're just so grateful for those mentors that have been with those children for the full 5 years.
So sticking with it over the long haul is worth it.
Absolutely, yes. It really does make a difference, and we see it, and the children see it too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, Amy, final question here, or final request. Please complete the line for me. Hope is ... What would you say?
Hope is possible because of all of you.
That's wonderful. And Amy has a wonderful perspective as a teacher who's had 10 kids through the Kids Hope USA program. And as she said, hope is possible. We partner with teachers to bring this life-changing hope and love to kids, because let's face it, Amy, teachers spread hope and love to kids all day long too. We all realize that, I'm sure. But also, hope is possible is why we do this, because we know that if you fill a little heart with hope, that there'll be incredible life change. And when you change a life, it's no small change.